Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Week 6 PRNSC FFL Rundown. It's your commish. It's Wednesday morning, 9:23, New York City. No school for this guy today for some reason. They give me Wednesdays off this year. I don't know why, but I'm not mad about it. So after this, I'm going to do some laundry and get some shit done. Not going to lie, this is probably going to be one of the more depressing rundowns of the year for me, and we're about to find out why in a matter of seconds. So let's hop right into this thing. With our first game of the week, it was Quaker Oats taking on PRNSC Hall of Fame Class 18. Final score here was 124.8 to 118.5. PRNSC Hall of Fame Class 18 moves to 6-0. Quaker Oats drops to 3-3. I was feeling kind of lucky. Monday night, fourth quarter, I still had the lead, and then Aaron Rodgers dropped a big old dookie in my face with a 35-yard touchdown pass. Hindsight obviously is 20/20 here. If I start Baker Mayfield over either of my quarterbacks, I end up winning this week, which is pretty awful to think about. So I have to sit with that one for the rest of the year. And now I'm a 500 ball club. So there's that. Fusco moves to 6-0. I dropped to 3-3. Must win for me this week. Cannot drop below 500. Next game, we had Doggy Paddle taking on the Maintenance Guy. Maintenance Guy failed to crack 100 points, 83.8. Easy win for Doggy Paddle in only putting up 116. Not like Team Doggy Paddle here, but Doggy Paddle moves to 6-0. That drops Ryan Windrum and the Maintenance Guy to 1-5. Powered by Christian McCaffrey and Kyler Murray. Doggy Paddle is just cruising along in this league. One of our only two remaining undefeated teams left. Doggy Paddle is Matt Hansen and PRNSC Hall of Fame Class 18, Timmy Fusco, both 6-0, both wins this week. Next game, we had Brett Swimming Lessons taking on Zach's Chlorine Readings, and Tom Deanna is just on the struggle bus, man. This dude cannot catch a break. He puts up 121.8, would have been enough to beat Fusco. Actually, no, it wouldn't have been, but it would have been really close. Would have been enough to beat Doggy Paddle, but not enough to beat Brett's Swimming Lessons. Cameron gets a much-needed win, puts up 150 points, powered by Terry McLaurin's 24 in his flex spot, and Tom Brady putting up 17.8. Philip Lindsay's 17.5. Good thing you didn't start Marcus Mariota. His negative 2.5 points are sitting on your bench. Tariq Hill is sitting on Zach's Chlorine Readings bench, which would have been a nice start for him over Marquez Valdez Scantling or Tyler Boyd. I still don't think it would have been enough. Brett's Swimming Lessons moves to 3-3. Zach's Chlorine Reading drops to 1-5. We've got the retired Garbage Man putting up 162.3 points. Johnny Soaks with a big win over Team Kiddie Pool Island. That's Tommy Higgins. Final here was 162.3 to 126. Sokol goes from 2-3 to 3-3, and that drops Tommy Higgins from 3-2 to 3-3. Both teams here now 500. Both teams trying to avoid going back under 500 here in our upcoming week. Sokol had Miles Sanders on the bench putting up points, Golden Tate on the bench putting up points, and he still managed to put up 162.3, powered by Lamar Jackson and Zeke Elliott. He's got good things happening with this team, especially with Melvin Gordon coming back. He only put up 6 points. It's amazing to see what this team is going to be capable of in a few weeks if the Chargers can ever figure out how to get Melvin Gordon going. On the flip side, Juju Smith and Rex Burke had not great starts over there for Tommy Higgins. You did have Stephon Diggs power you with 39 points, but the only bench points you had this week were Sam Darnold's 15.8, and it would not have made a difference in this game. And last but not least, we've got Team Higgins putting up the most points of the week. I'm honestly incredibly shocked by this. Team Higgins picks up their first win of the year over Aquafil and Company. Again, Mike Barron, tough loss here. You put up nearly 150 and you get an L. Sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Would have been enough to beat our two undefeated teams in the league this year, but not enough to beat the the only team that was winless. Liam Higgins puts up our most points of the week, 170.5, and with like the all-time one-liner in the group chat. I was actually dying when Liam finally said something in the group chat. It's hilarious. Deshaun Watson, 28.3, Kirk Cousins, 23.8, Devonta Freeman, 28.5, Carlos Hyde, 22, Julio Jones, 14, Calvin Ridley, 12, Redskins defense, 12, Zane Gonzalez, 10. I mean, those are just all double digits. It's all double digits, and there's not much you can do about that. I will say, Mike Barron, you had Alshon Jeffries, 18 points, sitting on your bench. Would have been nice to put him in over Amari Cooper's half a point against the Jets. That's right, my Jets. Still don't think it would have made a difference. It would have been a much closer game, but wouldn't have made a difference. So I was doing quick math in my head there, or slow math. So, all right, that was our week 6 games. Let's check out the standings, and then we'll go right into power rankings, and then our matchups for the upcoming week. So if we look here at the Big Rock division, we've got Doggy Paddle at 6-0 atop the division, a commanding lead here. We've got 3 teams tied at 3-3 for second place. All of those teams are 3 games back of Doggy Paddle, and then Team Higgins at the bottom of the division at 1-5. With a big win this week, so Team Higgins not dead, putting up the most points of the week. And then over on the kiddie pool side of things, PRNSC Hall of Fame Class 18, 6-0. We've got Aquafil and Company and Team Kiddie Pool Island, both 500, both 3-3, tied for second place there, both 3 games back. And then at the bottom of the division, it's Zach's Chlorine Readings and the Maintenance Guy tied at 1-5. So if you were looking at this, it's pretty clear there are the haves, and then there's like the wannabes, and then there are the have-nots. You're either 6-0, you're 3-3, or you're 1-5. There's not a lot of parity right now in this league. It seems to be a little top heavy, and we're going to start to see who's starting to separate from the pack out of this 3-3 group, because only a few of us are going to be able to make the playoffs, not all of us. So if we're looking at points 4 as our indicator of power rankings, in order from top to bottom for our power rankings: Doggy Paddle number 1, PRNSC Hall of Fame Class 2, Retired Garbage Man 3, Brett's Swimming Lessons 4, Quaker Oats 5, Aquafil 6, Team Higgins is 7, Team Kiddie Pool Island 8, Zach's Chlorine Readings 9, and the Maintenance Guy in dead last. The only person to fail to crack 700 points would be the Maintenance Guy. That's your power rankings, so we're going to hop right into our Week 7 matchups, and then I'll get you out of here. Our first matchup of the week, 2 500 teams taking on each other. Both teams need a victory here to stay above 500. Nobody wants to go below 500. It's Quaker Oats taking Aquafil and Company. That's me versus Mike Barron. I don't like to do this a lot. I don't like to do this ever. But I'm guaranteeing a victory. Guaranteed. I won't go under 500. It's not going to happen. Not with this team. I really like my team. I really think that they're better than what they've shown. Maybe some poor coaching moves on my part. But we're looking to ride the ship. We're looking to fix this and get it all straightened out. And it's going to be a big win for Quaker Oats this week. Next, we've got Brett's Swimming Lessons taking on the Maintenance Guy. Cameron coming off of a big win this past week. He's 3-3. He's looking to keep the winning ways going. The Maintenance Guy, Ryan Windrum, 1-5. Looking to pull off the upset. Win probability here, 79% in favor of Cameron. If you trust ESPN's win probability, I sure don't. Next up, we've got the Retired Garbage Man at 3-3 taking on Zach's Chlorine Readings. Tom Deanna looking to make some noise here, trying to go up to 2-5. That would drop the Retired Garbage Man down to 3-4. This one I think is going to be a little bit closer than people expect, especially if Tom Deanna checks his lineup and puts Tariq Hill in the lineup. He should have Devontae Adams coming back, which would be really helpful for him. So I wouldn't say that this one, in all probability, is going to be a toss-up in my estimation. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. And then we've got 2 more games for you, and we'll get you out of here. It's Team Higgins taking on Team Kiddie Pool Island. It's a battle of the Higgins brothers, which usually would be our matchup of the week. Liam just put up the most points of the week. Tommy's coming off of a loss, so Must win for both of these guys. I wouldn't want to be in the Higgins family this weekend when you got pick sides. It's like, um, when like one son is on one team and one, or like the Harbaughs when they were coaching against each other in the Super Bowl. Nope, nobody wants to pick sides here. I'm gonna have to say, with Liam putting up 170 and being our top scorer of the week, my money's on him, which is, I can't believe I just said that. So, and then our matchup of the week, obviously, it's going to be our two undefeated teams. We've got Doggy Paddle going up against PRNSC Hall of Fame Class 18, both with some pretty lackluster performances this past week, but both ended up getting wins. We're going to have one undefeated team next week, so this should be a dandy. Keep your eye on this one. Should be a good one to watch. That's all I got for you guys this week. Guaranteeing a win for Quaker Oats. We're too good to drop to 3 and 4. Keep your eye on this matchup of the week. It's one of our better ones this year. And the Higgins Bowl. My money's on Liam. Stay classy, New York.